money. Let's get money, motherfucker, get money. Let's get me, motherfucker, get money. Let's get money. Let's get money, motherfucker, get money. Let's get money. Money. Motherfucker. Let's get money. Let's get money, motherfucker, get money. Let's get money. 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 Let's get money, motherfucker, get money. Let's get money, let's get money. Let's get money. Let's get money, motherfucker, get money. Let's get money. Let's
Hello, top of the morning to you all. Guys, happy Monday. Today's October the 20th, 2015. Just kidding, 2025. Hope we are all happy, healthy, wealthy. We are here at exactly New York Open, seeing what the market is going to ensue for us. So we're going to be talking about the trades that I'm in. We're going to be talking about the trades that I'm looking for. So, make sure to hang. Make sure to grab your coffee. Make sure to stay happy, healthy, wealthy. And let me say good morning to all of you. How are you guys doing, first of all? How are you guys? Are we doing well? Are we doing well? I am in a couple trades here. I am going to go over the trades that I'm in, the trade setups that I took, why I took them, and what I'm expecting next. But before we do all of that, I need to say good morning to each and every one of you. First of all, good morning, Gio. Thank you. Good morning, Gamer Sarv. I gotta make this. I can't even. I'm like, guys, I'm getting old, man. I'm getting old. My birthday's coming up in a couple months. Like, I'm getting old. Gamer Saftain. Good morning to you. Phrase, good morning. Got the tree emojis. Beautiful. Non-saucy, good morning. Says, does this guy trade major FX pairs or gold? I do not trade major FX pairs or gold. I have started trading futures last week. And primarily ES and NQ. And it's only been a week, so I don't trade gold, but I do have a couple members in the Nexus that do want to trade gold, and I may start scalping it depending on how things go. So no, not at this moment in time. I do not trade gold or major FX pairs, but I'm very open to it. Jamie first, Venezuelan leg. What's up, Venezuela? Hope you're doing well, Jamie. We got Dural. Hello from Latvia. Nice, man. Good morning from Toronto, Canada. Chad, good morning. Alexandra, good morning. Rest easy, good morning. Good morning, Nexus. Good morning, everyone. Please hit the likes on your way in. Jazz Tech, morning, chaps. Good morning to all. How are you guys? You guys doing well? Did you guys have a good weekend? Let me know. Let me know how y'all doing. So I am in a couple longs right now. Okay, I'm in a Bitcoin long. I'm in a Dogecoin long. I'm in actually 2 Dogecoin longs. Okay. 2 doggy coin longs. 1 Bitcoin long from yesterday's low. Let's see my entry on the Bitcoin long. Look at this, guys. Look at these entries, man. This is my new entry model. I'm telling you, my new entry model is absolutely insane. That's the new entry model that we had right there on the low, right? How much are we from the low? Let's see how much we are off from the low right here. 0.32, 0.3 basically, 0.3 invalidation. Oh wait, no, my entry was down here, not even there. That's my stop loss now, right here. So we got in at 107.507 and the low was 372. So we got in, you know, 0.1 off the bottom. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, this needs to move way up now. The stop loss can move up. I'll play with that later. Anyway, yeah, so we're sitting long. Are you guys long? Are you guys short? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Sonny says you're the only one that's cleared up crypto. Even more for you. Thank you. Geo USDT is freaking wild, bro. Trust me. First of all, I'm very glad. I'm glad that you found value in my content. So, you know, I appreciate that. I appreciate you watching, and I'm very glad. It humbles me that I've been able to teach you and I've been able to affect your crypto. So I'm very pleased to hear that. Okay, so thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting, and you know, I'm glad you're learning. Dude, I'm telling you guys, okay? I don't know, Sonny, if you were part of the last stream when I was like telling everybody to go watch that video. And I keep saying this, right? Like I keep saying this. It's not like, it sounds arrogant when I say, guys, like this is the only video you need and it's literally going to change your life. And I do believe that it is going to change your life. And I emphasize it, and it sounds cocky, it sounds arrogant, but like I can tell you with complete and utter confidence, I don't need this on the screen. I don't want to flex numbers and stuff. That's not really me. I can, like, I told you this, guys. I told you this real quick before we get into the actual trades right now. This video right here, this video, guys, I'm gonna tell you this without a hiccup. This is the greatest video in crypto that you're ever going to see. This is the only one. Okay, I don't tell you stupid shit. I don't teach you fibs and whatever. I don't care about that. This video is going to 10x your trading just from this 13 minutes. I promise you that. It sounds arrogant. I don't mean to be, but it's a fact. These are facts. Okay, these are facts. All right, so Bitcoin is kind of just chilling. I don't really care about the Bitcoin trade. I do think that Bitcoin is going to go higher from this general zone. I do have a couple of long ideas here. One could actually be very soon, but I'm not going to long because I'm already in a long from the exact low. But I do ultimately think that my long from the exact low could be a swing long, okay? I do think that we are headed for 116, okay? I do think we're headed for these highs. I do think we're headed for that. Now, it could get a little bumpy on the way, for sure. But remember, like, I'm long from the exact low yesterday, right? This Asia low. And I want to talk about why I think that, okay? So, you know, I'm not a sentiment trader. Sentiment is all over the place right now, though. People are super convinced that... people are super convinced that we're going lower. People are super convinced that we're going higher. Here's what I'm thinking. So last week, we obviously, you know, on Friday, we were talking about Big Wick Betty, okay? How Big Wick Betty's over here. And how we longed the exact low on Ethereum. By the way, this Ethereum long that I took on stream with you guys, if you took this stream with me, or if you took this trade with me on Friday, okay, Friday morning, right here. If you took this trade with me right here, guys, you saw, like, if you were here on Friday, by the way, if this is your first time here, let me know. But make sure to hit the like button and subscribe only if I give you value. You guys know on Friday, we literally drew this block out. We drew this block out. And we said, yo, should we long? And we longed it. The entry was right there. The stop loss was right there. If you took that trade and you held that trade, you right now would be up and this was live. I did this live. This was not hindsight. You would have 22 risk to reward. 22 risk to reward on this trade alone. Okay? 22 risk to reward on this trade alone right now if you had taken that. So make sure you hit the like button and make sure you subscribe. Because if I do take a trade, I will let you guys know. Okay? Now, I'm not in that trade anymore. That's okay. I actually, funny enough, like an idiot, turned that trade into a loser, which I added to it, and then I got stopped out here. Fine, whatever. I don't really care. But nonetheless, if you took that trade specifically, you would still be in that. And I want to talk about Bitcoin, though, and why I think it's going higher, okay? So the idea of Big Wick Betty is that obviously we put in this capitulation wick, right? USDT dominance is the inverse correlation to the market, right? And we talked about how I don't think that we're going to come up and fill this wick. And if we do fill this wick, I think that Bitcoin was going to fill its wick low and altcoins were not going to fill their wick low, okay? Which has clearly happened, right? Bitcoin filled the majority of its wick, whereas certain altcoins, let's just use Dogecoin as an example, has not, in fact, filled its wick. Not even close, right? So Bitcoin to fill the wick, altcoins to not fill the wick. That was the general premise. That was the general idea. That being said, right now, currently, okay, we talked about Big Wick Betty on Friday, but that's not really what had me longing yesterday, because yesterday I longed right here on the exact low, right? We longed 107.7. So why did I long this? Well, Asia opened yesterday. We had a weekly open and literally went straight down. Like, it was a very aggressive, very aggressive move to the downside. I don't even think it was in the green at all during the Asian session. Let me see. It was here. It was right here yesterday at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. was right here. No, that's 6, that's 7. 8 p.m. Yeah. So we opened. Okay, we were slowly grinding down, and we opened, and we went straight down. Okay, we went straight down with no wick, and we went down pretty aggressively. Like, this is the 10-minute time frame. You know, we dropped 1% on Bitcoin, but the alts were kind of getting obliterated right on as Asia opened, right as Asia opened. And so I was thinking, I was like, what are we, like, you know, to open and go that aggressive is a little bit extreme. But I was thinking about the CME gap that we had on Bitcoin, and how the majority of the people, now that the CME gap was going to be open, is going to be trading towards that CME gap, right? And your CME gap clearly closes at 106.7. So I had the idea of, like, wait, why would we come down and fill that gap when it's a lot easier to trap the traders? And that was exactly what I was telling the Nexus yesterday. And you know, funny enough, obviously that's what happened. We essentially trapped the traders, and we didn't fill that CME gap, right? We didn't fill that CME gap. So if I were to, for example, pause the music and open up the Discord and bring you along into the Nexus, you'll hear what I was saying yesterday when I was giving my longs out. Okay, so let's listen together on 2x speed. Let's see what we have here.
All right, so here's what's happening right now. Dogecoin came down and hit the level that I wanted to long from.
Hold on.
All right, so here's what's happening right now. Dogecoin came down and hit the level that I wanted to long from. Ethereum came down and hit the level that I want to long from. Bitcoin came down and hit the level that I want to long from. USDT Dominance just SFP'd a more recent swing high, which can roll over. The only thing that's the problem is that Asia opened, weekly open, and went aggressively down. Now, I don't want to say force feed my narrative, because it's not forcing, but here's what I'm thinking. We just dumped aggressively towards the CME gap, which I don't know exactly where it fills, but we haven't filled that CME gap yet. Okay, and we just dumped aggressively towards it. My idea is, what if they don't go for the CME gap? Think about it. The lows haven't been taken on the double.
And by the way, this was yesterday. So the candle opens at 8. This was 8:42. Like, this is not hindsight. You know what I mean? Like, the Nexus gets this right away.
Bottom on Bitcoin, right? The 102, whatever. Now they're like, okay, well, there's a CME gap clearly. The gap fills, I mean, maybe, no, it didn't even fill. The gap fills at 107.3, and we're at 108 or 107.7. So what if now everybody's shorting, trying to fill the CME gap / target those semi-equal lows, and then they get trapped? Now, I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'm just saying, like, this, that's the only thing that has me iffy about longing right now, is we came down so aggressive. That was like a very aggressive open. I even missed like half of it, 15 minutes of it, because I just got home. Anyway, we'll see. Very interesting price action right now, to say the least, but I think those looks not bad.
So I said it, Doge doesn't look bad. Obviously, you know, we ended up taking our trades. I gave them the confirmations that I was looking for, and we ended up taking the trade. Although you have to understand that trading obviously is probabilities, and you know, it is our idea, or it is our responsibility to you know, play the probabilities. So did I like the fact that we were coming in hot? No. But did I see my confirmations? Yes. So we are long, we are strong, and you know, things are looking well. I'm primarily more interested in the Dogecoin long because, like I said, I don't think that the altcoins are going to fill their wick, and that Bitcoin may have. And to me now, Bitcoin has two traps to the downside. One is the CME gap, and the other one is the that wick low. So do we make our way to that low? I don't know, but of course, you know, I am expecting higher. All right, Darrell wants to short ETH. I'm not even looking at ETH this morning. I just finished the Nexus stream right before I came on doing my TA, and I looked at ETH and I was like, nope, I'm not even going to look at Ethereum. It's not good for me. All right, I don't know how to say your name. Says, why do I have a black screen? What the fuck? And no sound, but other videos on YouTube work fine. Bro, I can't see your stream, but I can see other streams right now perfectly. I did like 1,000 times the video and the sound. Start for 2 seconds. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Does anyone else have that problem? Can you guys all hear me? If you guys can all see me and hear me, drop a tree emoji in the chat if you can hear me and see me. And by the way, we have 111 of you in here. We have 23 likes. Every 100 likes, we do giveaways, okay? We do giveaways for every 100 likes, so do me a solid. Hit the like button for me only if I provide value. Aria, to answer your question, yes, I'm bullish right now. I am bullish right now. I do think we go higher. And I do think, what's up, Billy? And I do think that we are in a very interesting place to trade from. So I don't actually imagine that we are going to get a trade here on stream. I don't think so. But if I see one, I will take one. This does kind of look like a reaccumulation. But here's the deal. This is a short zone on Bitcoin, okay? We are in a short zone, although there's two things wrong about this short zone. Number one, I don't think it's going to work, okay? I don't think it's going to work. I do think we're going to go higher. And number two, in the event that it was going to work, I think we're a little bit too soon, right? So like this is a range formulating here, obviously, as you can see. And the range is relatively young. We have kind of a baby range going on right now. And it's too soon for me to be getting involved in a range of this youth, like a range that is this young. It's just, it doesn't look good. I don't have clear structure. Now I have a clear range high and a clear range low. But even if I was going to short, I can't short the discount section of the range. That's foolish, right? So if I was going to short anything, I would have to short up here or a deviation of the range high. The problem is, like I said, I don't actually think that this entire short zone, because we are in a short zone, I don't think that it's going to work. Just by the way that we came up, just by the, you know, Asia open idea that we had, and the false move to the downside, and the not filling of the CME gap, like, why does it make sense to roll over after not even sweeping any highs? Remember, guys, I trade liquidity, okay? I'm always trading liquidity. Will, where's your liquidity right now? You have liquidity above these highs, you have liquidity here, you have liquidity here, you have liquidity here. How much sense does it make to trap all these traders, right? Trap all the traders here going short, and then only take out this liquidity point, and this liquidity point is not even a major point, right? How much sense does it make to do that? It doesn't make any sense to do that. So I actually think that that's why I don't think that we're actually gonna, that this short zone is going to hold, and I actually think that we're gonna make our way up to 116. I do think we're coming for these highs. I do think so. So as you can see, like, this is a short idea that I have, and it's pointing down as a scalp. I'll have to watch this one. I'll have to monitor it. I don't really care if I miss the shorts right now because I don't think we're going lower. Like, substantially lower. Obviously, you're in a bigger time frame range, right? This is your range low. This is your range high, and you're just in this range, and we're trading the range, and you are in the premium section of the range, right? I just don't think that it's going to work. I think we're coming for these highs. I think we're coming for the highs. So it's a little bit early right now for me to be trading. I'm already in it. Okay, I'm already in it. And yeah, it's just a little bit. See here, I said with our charts, right? We are currently in supply. However, the range is not old enough for my liking. Waiting for one of the levels that are high probability, which in my opinion are either going to be the two biggest zones that I'm interested in are 1 and 2, right? Which is 112.5 and 109.5, basically. I don't really like too much in between. It doesn't make sense for me to add to my long because I'm already in one. If I see one, I will take it. But like I said, we do right now look like we are reaccumulating on the low here. And this expectational order flow, I presume the target is going to be the high. So look, you do as you want. Once again, if you've been around, you know that all content presented is a complete joke and should not be taken seriously. Geo is an incompetent 5 2 3/4 wannabe singing non-financial advisor. Crypto's a scam. Making money online is impossible. Global warming is real and the earth is flat. Viewer discretion is advised. So you know that I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't listen to me. Don't follow me. You will lose all your money. But I think we go higher. I do think we go higher. All right. So yeah, Addy, those are my ideas right now. I think the best ideas are 109.5 and 112.5, and I don't think anything else is in between. And I think we go higher. I think we go higher. Morning, Ryan. I hope you're doing well as well. Hope you're doing good too. All right, what are we saying here? Can I check Tao? T-A-O. Shout out to the flat earthers. Yeah, I don't actually think that the earth is flat, but the whole disclaimer is sarcasm, right? All right, Tao USDT. Can I chart Tao USDT? Okay, so I don't trade this thing, but clearly the last time that we charted it, it bounced off of my breaker block, and now you're up and away. I think we're coming for this high. I think expectational order flow is up. There's no reason why we wouldn't go to that high. We talked about this on Friday, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And we bounced perfectly off of that breaker block. So if you were on the stream on Friday, you would have heard me talk about this breaker block, and you could have gotten into a trade there, and you could have potentially had a nice risk to reward. And yeah, you know, I do think we're going higher. There's really nothing else for me to say. If you want a swing long on TAO, then I think that we do this, right? I think we go break up like this. Here's your reconfirmation, probably to sweep out sell side liquidity. So we probably will come down and hit this afterwards. Hit that, sweep out this low. That's your third tap, right? You have your 1, you have your 2, you have your 3, and then up and away you go. That's the idea. That's the idea. Can I look at silver? Can you drop me the ticker for silver? Because I don't know the ticker. I'm a little bit new to futures. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, baby, I love your way. All right. In the meantime, let's see what I will trade. Yeah, like I don't like any of this on Bitcoin. I don't like any of that. Kind of boring. I don't think we're gonna have a trade on stream today, but we'll see. We'll see. ETH, I don't want to look at. ETH sucks. I'm gonna close ETH. Doggy, I'm interested in. Tau, I don't care about. Ticker for silver is SLV. Let's check silver. I have never charted silver before. Never. Holy smokes. Okay, we're gonna check that in a second here. So a short on 12,500 or a long on 109. Well, we're not doing that 100%. We have to wait for confirmations. We have to wait for reactions. But yeah, that's generally the next two trades that I'm looking at. And for me, I can only speak for myself. I would not touch anything unless you really know what you're doing. Like, there's a way to long this, right? But unless you know what you're doing, you got like, not you guys. Unless you're in it, we'll say it like this, because I don't want to sound condescending. I'm not intending to be. Unless you truly know what you're doing and you're an advanced professional trader, you should not touch anything, in my opinion, until here or here. Just don't. Just put an alert on 112.5, put an alert on 109.5, and go play with your kids, play with your wife, play with your dog. That's what I would suggest to do. Brother started really paying attention to USDT after my video, man. Bricks, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, I'm very glad that you know, listen to what I have to say, because I told you it will change your life. That video, those 13 minutes is the best crypto video on YouTube, and I'm not even hiccuping when I say it. Show me one video that's better than that video. And it's not about the video, okay? It's about the actual content. There's no better indicator than USDT dominance, right? If you need an indicator, which I don't trade with indicator anymore, but if you need an indicator, there's no better indicator than USDT dominance. The inverse correlation of USDT and the rest of the crypto market. So it's not to like say I'm the best. It's to say that I deliver the best content, right? I'm not showing you trend lines. I'm not showing you fibs and shit. Nothing beats USDT dominance. And that's why I can tell you with confidence that this is the best crypto video on YouTube by far. I don't see any other creator talking about it. Maybe they have, and you know, credit to them if they did. I just haven't seen it. But it's not that I'm the best, it's that USDT is the best. And I'm just bringing it to your attention. That's all. All right, silver. I mean, this is silver's all-time high. There's really nothing to talk about. First of all, that's freaking, this chart is nuts. But there's nothing to talk about here. Like, there's really nothing to talk about. You're literally at all-time high. You have no reason to short it. And these candles look horrible. I don't know who trades this or how they trade this. But these candles don't really look great. So, yeah, I don't have any way to trade it. I don't have any way to... And I don't have any comments on it because it's at all-time high. What I would do, here's what I would do. If for whatever reason you want to get involved in this, I would just trade the local range. So you're forming a range here. Range high, range low. Okay, that's a range. That's a valid range now. Now you might say, Gio, how is that a range? And you're trying to front run where your range is, right? So like if you keep doing this, then all of a sudden you see how it's a range. So if that happens, then I would trade the range. I would look for shorts on the range high and I would look for longs on the range low. But there isn't really like, it's not easy to talk about this right now because you're literally at all-time high and there's no structure to work with. What's your structure? I can't even draw out my structure for you. Like, let's say on the 4-hour time frame, you're drawing structure, right? The absolute best structure you could do is low, high, low, high, low, and then honestly high. Like, that's how I would draw my structure. So there's zero reason, absolutely zero reason to even like be bearish on silver at all. But I would still trade it relative to the local range. I don't really have anything else to say about it. Sorry, bro. All right, let's come back to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's coming up. I think Bitcoin's coming to hit this. So what actually might happen now is we are in supply. Okay, we are in this supply zone. If so Bitcoin's reacting off the supply, which means somebody's home. If Bitcoin can come up and close above this high, then I would look to long the demand that was created as a result of the supply failure. So that would be my supply. This would be my demand. This would be my long up to this high. And we are backed by the idea that this could be a Model 1 accumulation. And I would actually take this higher. I would take it up to 112.5. But I'm not taking it because I'm already in a trade. And this, if you can see the colors here, is no different than my Dogecoin long that I took yesterday. So let's talk about that since we're here and we're, you know, I'm in Dogecoin. So look, you see how this is the exact same way right here? See that? Red, green, flip up, same exact deal. And I'm in on two Bitcoin longs right now. Or sorry, I'm in one Bitcoin long. I'm in two Dogecoin longs. I longed this on Dogecoin and I longed this on Dogecoin on 2 different accounts. So I'm on 2 longs, same idea, 2 longs. Remember, there's absolutely no such thing as, you know, the sentence, what's your entry? That's not a sentence. That's Mickey Mouse. There's no such thing as that. There is, what's your risk to reward, right? There's no such thing as missing the trade. If you can't get in because you missed it, then you should join the Nexus and I will teach you how to get in even if you miss it. There's no such thing as missing the trade. All right, I do want to get my, so I'm a little bit underwater on my futures accounts. Okay. I do want to get funded on my futures account this week. I do think I can get funded. So on Friday, we were talking about my breakout account and we were talking about my Top Step account, and I am funded now on Top Step. Okay. I did get funded on Top Step, or sorry, on breakout. I am funded on breakout. I haven't taken a funded trade yet, but I am funded. Well, they haven't actually activated the account yet. That's why. Otherwise, I would have been long on Dogecoin as well on breakout. Anyway, I want to get funded on Top Step this week if I can. That would be ideal. That would be ideal. So we'll see. ES is kind of just chilling. Let me pull up my futures template. I have like a little template here. Okay, where I have ES on the left and I have NQ on the right, and I'm primarily looking for SMTs, because they actually work very, very nicely. SMTs work very nice. Like, we actually have an SMT right now, a mid time frame SMT, but it's a little bit too early to be activating on that. So we'll see. Hopefully I can get funded today, or not today, this week. Geo, so I got liquidated on, wait, what do I think about hedging strategy? You mean like shorting against your long? I think that there are many ways to de-risk. I think you can de-risk by putting your stop loss at break even, or you can de-risk by taking profit, or you can de-risk by hedging. So there's nothing wrong with hedging. I personally don't hedge often because I just look for new trades. Like, I'll just close my trade, and if I feel like it's going to continue, then I'll just get back in, right? Like I said, there's no such thing as missing the trade. If you know what you're looking for, you can get in from anywhere and get very high risk rewards. But it's to each their own, right? You know, sometimes if I feel like I don't want to close the position, then I will try a hedge, and you know, it's not really my style, but I do it sometimes. Gio, so I got liquidated on the big dump. Since then, something break inside. I can't enter anything. Do I have any advice for you to get back on track? Yeah, man. You know, if you got liquidated, first of all, I'm sorry to hear, Mohammed. Sorry to hear that you got liquidated. So we're going higher, like I said. Sorry to hear that you got liquidated. A lot of people lost a lot of money, so you know that sucks. So sorry to hear. But what I will say is that, you know, if you're having a problem entering now, so like if you have, like, let's say like you're scared of getting burned again, or you have analysis paralysis or whatever, like the best really advice I can give you is you need to like build your confidence again, right? If you're scared to take a trade, it's because you are not afraid, your confidence is shot, okay? And like anything, right? What do you do when you get rejected by a girl and your confidence is shot? You like learn from what happened and then you move on, right? Now it sounds like obvious, but it is what it is. Or think of like a rehab thing. Like, let's just say you broke your legs and then now you need to start learning how to walk again, right? There's a confidence element of it, and you just practice every day until you have the strength, until you can walk again. It's the same thing, right? So what I would recommend for you is to just back test, figure out your rhythm again, figure out why you lost, study why you lost. Guys, I say this all the time. I never lose. Hold on. I literally don't lose. Now you might say, Gio, what the hell? Everybody loses, right? That's impossible. This guy's a scammer. But hear me out. I never lose. I learn, right? I learn. I don't lose. I learn. So go back and actually study why you lost. Why did you get liquidated? What did you do wrong? Learn from it. And then practice. Practice, and then start off slow. You don't need to go on your whole account size every single time. You don't need to do that. You go practice, start over, right? Clean slate. It takes one trade to break a losing streak. Okay? Practice, practice, practice. Go and actually study, and don't lie about it. Like, you could lie and you're lying to yourself about it, which is not going to help you. Go study what you did wrong, learn what you did wrong, and then go practice what you did wrong in back testing until you don't do it wrong. So don't lose, right? You got liquidated. Think of it as a good thing. Okay, I got liquidated, so now I have to learn. Now you have to learn, right? If you got liquidated, now you have no choice but to go learn, because otherwise you lost, and we don't want you to lose. We want you to learn. So if you don't learn, then you lose. So don't lose. Go learn. And then, you know what I mean? It's the best advice I can give. All right, Crypt Dog says, you're funny, man. Good energy. Came from Alex O. Stream straight onto here. GG. Shout out to Alex O. Crypto. Shouts out to Crypt Dog. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for being here. One love. I recently watched your videos on vector candles. Have I moved away from using them, and why? Yeah, one. So I use them sometimes, right? I use them sometimes when it comes to my entries. Right, when I'm looking for entries and such, I do use them. I do pop them up from time to time. But here's the difference, right? Before, the way that I used to trade was primarily with Market Cipher, and I would use the indicator as directional bias, right? So I would say, all right, we have a green dot, you know, we have vectors to the left. I'm going to be targeting those vectors to the left, and then sometimes I would get smoked because, let's be real, the indicators are not what they seem. Okay? So do I still use them? I use them for entries only. And the reason I use them for entries only is because I do not use indicators anymore for directional bias. I just don't. I don't care if there's a green dot right now. I told you guys that I think that price is going to go higher with or without this dot. I don't need the dot to tell me we're going higher. Okay, I know that we're probably going to higher based on probabilities. So if that's the case, then how can I actually benefit from using vector candles? Well, the answer is when it comes to my entries only. Okay, so let's pull up Dogecoin for an example. Let's talk about my entry that I took yesterday, right? When I am looking to get into a trade and I know that vectors are likely to get recovered, if we're coming into my long zone, right, and then I see vectors to the left, then that provides me additional confidence and confluence to enter my trade, right? I know that I can get into my trade here because these are likely to get recovered, and I'm only using it for directional bias. So I already have this tool ready to go when I'm looking to enter, and I already know where I'm targeting. I'm targeting higher, like significantly higher. Actually, my first target was this high. So do I need vectors to tell me that I'm going up to here? No. Do I need the indicator to tell me that I'm going up to here? No. Right? I'm using the indicators now only for help with my entry. And to be honest, 90% of the time, I even ignore the indicator anyway, because I don't trust them. Right? But that's the way that I use vectors now, if I decide to use them. Another way, actually one more thing that I do, is on high time frames, on super high time frames, what I'll do is I'll turn on my vectors. And if I have a fair value gap, which is what a vector basically, vectors are not fair value gaps, but it's more likely that a fair value gap candle is a vector candle. So if I have a fair value gap, let me show you on Solana, because this happened on Sol for our Giga Short. If I'm in a fair value gap, right, on like Solana, and it's a vector candle fair value gap, then I may take a trade in that zone, despite me not having a traditional supply zone or a demand zone. Okay? So if I have a vector candle, I may take a trade in that vector candle. Like, it gives me confidence with taking trades via fair value gaps is basically the point. Man. That's the idea. The divs ain't divin'. Yeah, man. But you haven't heard me say that lately because I don't use indicators for directional bias anymore. I frankly do not give a you know what. Do I live just from trading? I do not live just from trading. I run a business called The Nexus where I have monthly subscribers pay me monthly for my services. So no, I don't. Trading is not my only income. I actually have a few income sources. Can I trade? Can I trade just for a living? Yes, I can. Do I? No. Do I recommend anybody does it? No. Trading is a lot different when you don't have an income. Trading journal is tedious but important. Screenshot. Yeah, man, bricks 100%. And for me, because I have the Nexus, like my journal is basically here. Everything I do, these guys are aware of. You know what I mean? So my confidence is shot, so I've just been watching charts, lower margin. You're still trying after a week break. Yeah, man, I would say just trade with $1. Like, don't trade with a lot of money. Trade with $1, and then whatever your normal position size is, just add zeros mentally to your brain. So if your normal position risk is $100, go in with $1. And when you're down 50 cents, be like, shit, I would be down half of the position size. But take the trades. I think even if you go in with 5 cents and just follow the percentages, take the trades because they're real when you take them. All right, Bala says, that was my problem. You'd use your whole account and FOMO in. Yeah, no need to FOMO, broski. No need to FOMO. The div saying tipping. You used to say it when you were in the Nexus. Yeah. I mean, I still say it, but I don't use it anymore. I don't use it for directional bias. We are in a 12-hour order block. Couldn't this be enough to send you back down? Do I really have to get to the equal highs right now? No, we don't have to get to the equal highs right now. It could be enough to send you lower. I don't think that... And we're in supply. Like, we're 100% in supply. That's undeniable. Okay, it's undeniable that we're in supply right now. I had this zone drawn up, but I just deleted it because it's like in my face. But I know that we're in supply right now. This very well could be what you need to go lower. I just don't think we're ready yet. So because I don't think we're ready yet, I am not short right now. Right? I think we might go higher because we didn't come into this zone. Like the context in which we came into here, the market narrative is not ideal for this to be your low or your high to then make a lower low. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense right now for me to come back to the Asia low last night. It makes no sense to come back here. Which means what? They probably need to trap more traders and they're probably going to come up higher. So are we short or long right now? I am long right now. I'm long on Doge and I'm long on Bitcoin. Those are my only 2 longs. We longed yesterday. Have I covered USDT and BTC all season, or am I just doing futures? Well, USDT right now, so in the Nexus, we were talking about how we were very likely going to be coming for this zone here. We do have a zone just below where we are at right now, and we do have a confirmed range. So really, if you're not an advanced trader, my recommendation is to put an alert on 4.88% or 4.93% and wait for one of the two. That's what I'm doing. I'm not touching anything until either one of those two get hit. Okay. As for Bitcoin dominance, I already mentioned what I think is going to happen, which is that we are going to fall from this general zone. And I do think that we have the potential to have an altcoin season. I do think so, right? Based on this capitulation wick, which is why ultimately I'm going to try my best. I'm not great with swing trading whatsoever, but I'm going to try my absolute best to hold these Dogecoin longs. Okay, I'm gonna try to hold that. And you know, if this can get to like crazy altcoin prices, then this trade will really change my life. So I'm hoping that these become my biggest trades ever. But I'm also not ignorant enough to, you know, ignore the idea that the market high could be in, right? I'm not saying it is in, but it could be in. So I have to monitor these trades carefully, and that's the second one. And as you can see on my TP here, look at what I have on my TP. Literally on 1.243 is my TP for 100,000 Doge. Now that's a crazy permabull number, and I'm not discrediting that. But man, you never know. Like, what if I wake up one day and everything's up like 500%? Right? I'll tell you this. Prior to this Friday liquidation, okay? Prior to the Friday liquidation, you have not even heard me utter the words altcoin season. Not really. Okay, I've been relatively bearish on altcoins, but now that we finally had this capitulation, there is actual hope for the altcoin season and the banana zone and whatever euphoria that everybody wants. Prior to that, I just didn't see it, which is why I maintained my bearish bias since the conception of my channel, and why I was like pretty much universally hated. Because I don't know if they hated me or they hated that I was right, but either way, something happened, you know? But I've always been like, I much rather people hate me and me be honest than me lie and then everybody loses. I always keep it real, man. Like I said, you know, in the same breath, I'll tell you, I think we might have an altcoin season, but in the same breath, I'm telling you that I think crypto is the next NFTs and everything is going to go to zero after the cycle. I truly believe that, but what do I know? Some of the Earth's biggest apps. What's up, Joe? Good morning, brother. Some of the world's... Let me make you a moderator, Joe. Let's make you a moderator. Anything's possible with Trump. Yeah, man. 100%, dude. 100%. 100%. 100%. But I think as long as Bitcoin continues to hang around where it is, like just stay here, it's better. You know, when prior to taking the 126K high, I was saying that it's way better if we continue to range here for the altcoins. I was saying if you're bullish on alts, you don't want Bitcoin to take the high. And the reason why is because if Bitcoin takes the high and rolls over, it has the potential to like really nuke and alts will follow it. But since Bitcoin's made this all-time high, we need Bitcoin to be boring, right? We need Bitcoin to do nothing. And that gives the opportunity for the alts to run. So what are you guys thinking? Are you guys in long? Actually, let's do this. Let me know right now your current biggest P&L position. Let me know what coin it is, if you're long or short, where you're long or short from, and how much you're currently up. I'm curious what you guys are doing. Those three trades are the only trades that I'm in right now. The Bitcoin long, the Dogecoin long, and the other Dogecoin long are my only three trades right now. And I'm not really interested in taking anything else on the crypto side of it. On the crypto side of it. I am interested in the futures side of it. And I might end up taking a futures trade. We might have to take a futures trade today. We do have an SMT right now. Okay, we do have an SMT right now. Not enough for me to just go in, but we do have an SMT. AVAX long, gonna long ETH under 9:30 a.m. open. Tron, XLM, XMR, spot waiting to get back in. Okay. USDC long. So you're bearish? Oh, man. By the way, the short that we took on Friday was really nice on ES. I am underwater, though, on my ES evaluation. You caught XRP in Friday at 120. You will give it at 4 to 5. Damn, bro, that's a big target. It's a big target. I hope it works out for you, man. I really do. I hope it does. I also think that if it I mean, it'll be good for me if it goes up, if XRP goes up too, because I'm long on Doge. So sitting on your hands, nice. In the same way, I'd rather have people hate you than be fake. You have morals, ethics, integrity. You don't just go with the crowd like most. You think for yourself, bro. That's what it's all about, honestly. Like, I'd rather be wrong but be real than be right and be fake. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, like Carl from the Moon, that we're going to 1,000,000K. I'm just not gonna do that ever. Right? I'm just not gonna do that. And maybe I'm wrong, and I hope I am for everyone's sake. But now is the first time that I think we actually may, you know, get some of those crazy numbers that everybody's looking for. Like, now there's true potential for it, right? Whereas prior to that, there wasn't really that much potential, in my opinion, anyway. All right, we're kind of rolling over here a little bit. We don't really like it. Don't really want to be rolling over, but it's not too late. So again, this is not a trade yet. I'm waiting. We need to see this break, which this is not a break yet. So there's no trade here for me. And I'm already long. There's no trade, though. There's no trade here. Pretty uneventful New York Open, I have to say. pretty uneventful. Matthew Curtis says you follow the plan. Good job. Yeah, man, you have to follow the plan. Listen, I'd rather follow my plan and lose than get into a trade that I shouldn't have been in and win. Because in the long run, it's going to be the inverse, right? In the long run, you're not going to do well if you win trades that you shouldn't have even taken. Like you might get your dopamine hit today, but in the long run, you're going to end up losing it. So I rather lose a trade with being on my plan than win just because I took a random trade and I won. You're long ETH at 4,000. I really don't like ETH's price action today to the point where in the Nexus stream doing the TA, I was like, guys, I'm not even going to talk about it. You're long from 4,000? How did you get into this long? Wait, how did you long this, broski? Like, what did you even... You long... Where are you long? You're long in the middle of nowhere. This long is in the middle of nowhere. Oh, your stop is there. Oh, okay, okay. Oh, like you longed from here? And your stop is there? Yeah, you might get taken out. We'll see. Hopefully not. Hopefully you just deviate this low and you pop up. Let's check USDT Dominance. Yeah, we're just ranging. There's not really much going on. Is the ETH PO3 still likely to play out? The one that Raven posted. The high time frame one? I need to see. What was the one that he posted? Which one did he post again? Let's go check Raven's channel. Be some kind of superstar. Yeah, I would say so. I would say so, yes. I would say so. It is likely, yeah. I would say so. But I'm not looking at ETH right now. But yeah, I would say it does look good. We also came into demand here. ETH also came down to hit this demand. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, right here. So we actually wicked it out. We have bigger demand though. It's probably a 4-hour zone. Yeah, 4-hour demand right here. So we have 4-hour demand right there that we hit. And then if we jump down here, we are clearly in an uptrend. And, you know, this is the range. That's the manipulation. And that's the expansion. Now, here's what I will tell you. You don't typically see your expansion like this slow. Okay? So this has me a little bit cautious. I would have imagined that after this, you know, Sunday Mickey Mouse BS price action that, by the way, happened at 4 a.m. again, I would imagine that would have sent you up higher. As you can see, I said when ETH stops sucking, we will trade it again. Like, I don't really care to trade it. If you're not in from down here, it's probably not worth looking at, but you usually will get, you know, a fairly strong expansion, right? Like it won't normally be like this. This is an abnormally looking PO3. And what I'll show you, or the follow through is a little bit abnormally looking. And what I will show you is, like, I'll give you an example of a PO3 that, like, how it's supposed to look, right? So here, right here, you have liquidity, right? Like, this is a range. Here's your manipulation. Here's your expansion to the downside. Like, do you see how fast that expansion is relative to everything else? That's how it should be. So that little detail makes me a little bit kind of iffy about the PO3 idea. Like, why is it taking so long? But technically it is valid. Yeah, it is valid. All right, what's Bitcoin doing? So Bitcoin's kind of hanging around. I still think we go higher. right, let's check Alex's DM. 65 people in here. 147 people in here. 147 people in here and only 50 likes. That is so sad. Hold on. Mute my mic for a sec. Yo, should we do like the old days and get on the treadmill again? I need to I'm going on vacation in December. Your boy needs to get back in shape like properly. Let's get my treadmill set up while we're here. You guys think we go higher or not? You guys think we go higher from here? Hi, what trade entry confirmation do I use on which time frame? CVD or just price action? All right, your comrade. You must be relatively new here, and that's not meant to be an insult. You might be relatively new, and so you don't really know how I operate, is what I mean. Basically, if you've been around the channel, you know me at all. I'm quite the contrarian to most traders. I don't trade like anybody else. But what I will say is that time frame, and this is where I'm getting to. This is what I'm alluding to here. Like time frames aren't real. Okay, time frames are not real. So I don't trade based off of just a time frame. Like, what's my favorite time frame? I use all of the time frames. I don't like. I'm trading price action, right? I don't really care about time frames itself. People are too caught up on time frames. So yeah, and I'm primarily trading structure. All right, I'm trading market structure, and yeah. Sorry, I'm getting a little, my ADHD right now is getting a little ADHDing. Kind of ADHDing at the moment. Oh, that's cool. I'm like way ADHDing right now. All right, let me get my ass on the treadmill so that I could focus. Hold on. But yeah, man, I'm primarily trading price action, right? Because price action is the same thing on all time frames, right? I like things that are very objective. That's why if I'm going to use an indicator, my favorite indicator is open interest, because open interest remains static on all time frames. It's not contingent on the time frame that you're on, whereas oscillators are contingent on the time frame you're on. That's why I don't like EMAs either, for example. I don't prefer EMAs because EMAs are time frame dependent. So how do you know which time frame to use? I don't like it for that, for that point, for that reason. Now, I haven't had my ass on the treadmill in a hot minute. Go Jays. Let's get our fat ass up on the treadmill. What work did I do before trading? I was in banking. Higher, but not from here. Pull back to 107 is your hope, but we may only see 109.5. Well, 109.5 is one of the two zones that I'm looking to trade, but I don't know if we're going to get there, bro. I really don't know if we're going to get there. We could. I just don't think it makes sense to go lower. Here's what I'll say. I definitely do not think that your 107 is going to happen. I don't think that. If anything, I think we touch 109.5, but I think we might, if we are going to go lower from here and this is not your low, I think that this might be where we bounce from. But I just think we're going to go higher. Anyway, yeah, I was in banking, dude. I was in banking. If the bears don't dump in the next 1 hour and 30 minutes, we will pump. I think we're going to pump anyway. I don't think that we're going to dump from here. Yeah, I was in banking. I was in banking. I used to manage portfolios for commercial accounts across Canada. So I used to do like credit and you know, all that boring shit. I went corporate. I was corporate for like, you know, I don't know, a few months, and I was like, fuck this, and I quit. All right, let's get the treadmill going. All right, there we go. Maybe now we'll be able to focus. Now it's going to be hard to use the mouse, but, you know. You can't have everything. Do I trade small alt caps? No, I don't. You don't need to, man. You don't need to. I mean, I don't. Here's my thought process, dude. Like, you know, if you know how to trade, why wouldn't you just trade Bitcoin and put more capital on Bitcoin? It's like there's less like Bitcoin moves nicely. The alts do the gayest shit sometimes. Like even ETH fucking sucks. Right? ETH absolutely blows. I do trade ETH. I trade the top coin. My favorite stuff to trade is Bitcoin and Solana. Lately, I've been really rocking with Dogecoin, which is why I'm in a Dogecoin long. But like, I don't really trade the shit coins. I don't trade that. It's too much, man. It's too much to watch. Check the link BTC breakout. Man, we're like walking so fast right now. Jeez. Oh, whoops, not checked. What did I say? Link BTC? No, I don't trade gold or FX. I'm gonna start though. I just started trading futures last week. And I'm underwater on my current evaluation, so I'm gonna try to get funded this week though. If I can get funded, that would be ideal. All right, do we have a breakout going on? I mean, not really. I wouldn't say that we're really breaking out. I do think that Link has a good, like Link has a really nice return to zone. Link BTC, that is. So I wouldn't be surprised. Like if you can get above this supply, if you can get above this zone, I wouldn't be surprised to see Link BTC start trading all the way up here, right? Which will obviously give Link a pretty decent pump. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put an alert on this. Whoops. Oh my, what did I just do? Link BTC. I'm gonna put an alert here. And when we touch that line, I will start looking at ETH or Link and maybe get into a Link trade. So I'll be looking for something like this, like come up, maybe seriously? Come up, maybe react from here, pop up, and then here's where I'll be looking to long Link. Something like that. So I'll keep my eye on it. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's probably the same. Like if you go to any of the altcoins, they all probably look the exact same. Doge BTC. Let's check ETH BTC. We haven't checked that in a while. Yeah, ETH BTC. Let's go. ADA BTC. ADA is one that I'm also very interested in, just because I know that ADA has an explosive characteristic nature, and ADA hasn't really moved yet. But yeah, all the alts kind of look the exact same right now. Let's go XRP BTC. Yeah, it all kind of looks the same. Damn, that shit the bed. Holy smoke. All right, so Bitcoin is pumping, Doggy Coin is pumping, which are my two trades. Solana I don't want to look at. I'm just chilling, you know. Thoughts on devaluation of currencies? Isn't fiat the biggest Mickey Mouse of all time? Fiat is the biggest Mickey Mouse of all time, but here's my opinion, and it is a contrarian opinion. I want to just be very clear about that. But so far, being a contrarian has done me very well. So, yes, fiat is a Mickey Mouse of all time, but there's no way that like we overrun the government, right? Like, who prints the money? It's the banks and the government, right? The Fed. And who runs the banks? The elites. And the elites are not going to let you get on top. So yes, while this whole inflation and the devaluation of like fiat is a very true thing, what I think is that we are in an everything bubble. And what I think is that everything is going to collapse. And when it like, I think, and I've said this since the beginning of my channel, I think we're in the roaring 20s, just 100 years later. And I think that the 30s are going to be the Great Depression, just like they were in the 1930s. And so I think that when the whole, when the entire financial system collapses, because it will, and we have our global reset, I think that everything is going to zero. I think that all the cryptos are going to die. And I think that whatever they do for new money is going to be the new money. That's what I think. I don't think crypto is going to be the new money. Maybe Bitcoin, sure. But I don't think crypto is going to be at all. Like, I literally think everything is going to zero. Not literally zero, but you get what I mean. Like, I think crypto is going to be the new NFTs. But that's like, and I think this is the last 4-year cycle. But anyways, maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. Anyways, in the last stream, I said I would never talk about this shit again. I don't want to talk about it. Do I think I will be safe if that happens? What do you mean I will be safe? Glad to see me on the treadmill. Thank you. Will Bitcoin go to zero? I don't know, man. If currency collapses in Great Depression, well, you mean like safe from like on the monetary side, or you mean safe like my physical well-being? Like, it's gonna create chaos, that's for sure. It is absolutely going to be, I guess, havoc. Am I going to be safe from it? I mean, nobody's really going to be safe from it. Right? It's not like there's, at the end of the day, currency, like true currency, no one's going to be safe, in my opinion. But what I do think is that, like, this is why my personally, like, people online try to tell me what my financial goals are. They're like, stack as many sats as you can. Like, that's not my goal. Like, me, I want real estate personally. Maybe it's a bad ROI compared to Bitcoin, but that doesn't mean that, like, it's a safer thing, right? Like, for me, if I have real property, like, that's real. You know what I mean? Like, if the internet gets hacked today, then all of you Bitcoiners are fucked. And I also think that, yes, Bitcoin can be stopped. Right? I absolutely think Bitcoin can be stopped. Now, real estate can be stopped as well, right? Like, the government can take your house and take your property. But, like, it's at least real. Like, it's real property. Right? When I say real property, look up the definition of real property. Like, it's or a real asset. The definition of real is like something that's like attached to the earth, right? So Bitcoin is not a real asset in that regard. For example, my goal is real estate. Actually, then it's literally in the name, real estate. Literally in the name. So why would I want a Great Depression? I never said I wanted a Great Depression to happen. I just said I think that it's going to happen. And I'm not the type of person that's gonna not say that it won't happen guaranteed, right? I don't want it to happen, but I absolutely think that it's going to. I think everybody, man, I think we're in an everything bubble. Like, how could you argue that we're not? Now, does that mean that the bubble pops today? No. But I think we are in an everything bubble. How could you argue that we're not? Yeah, let's talk about BNB. Anyways, like I said, man, I don't really like to talk about this shit anymore because people don't like my opinion on it. Even though I've been right for 2 years. But, you know. Bitcoin is like NFTs, but limited. We all know what happened with NFTs. I think Bitcoin's going to be the next NFTs. Or crypto is going to be the next NFTs. Maybe not Bitcoin. Maybe Bitcoin makes it out alive. All these altcoins, I don't know. What's up, Phil? All right, let's check BNB. What do we got going on? So BNB. What is this, dude? Like, how do you... Okay, so this is the most insane chart I've ever seen. So this was the crash that we had October the 10th. And BNB didn't even really crash that much. And then it came back up and took the high again. That is insane. Am I looking at this correctly? There's no way I'm looking at this correctly. Am I looking at this right? October the 10th? Yeah. That's crazy. One thing sucks about property. Don't pay your property tax and see how long it remains your property. Oh, yeah, of course. You can't. Man, that's like, that kind of adds to my point, though. Like, if you don't pay your tax, like, the Fed is going to come knocking, right? Like, they're in such control. If you think that they're not in control of your crypto and shit, too, like, just watch. And I think that everybody is completely ignorant to think that they can beat the government. Like, you're fucking retarded if you think that. Okay, so the way that I would interpret this chart, first of all, I wouldn't touch this thing with a 10-foot pole. But here's my range high, here's my range low. Here's the deviation of the high once. Okay, so it very well could be in the early stages of distribution. Just on my first impression, okay? We have a flip zone situation going on right now as we speak. I'm just going to draw it like this. So that hit the demand. Demand failed to make a new high. Then we broke below that demand, which means you can now short the supply created as a result of that demand, which is what we're in right now, right? We are in a supply zone on like 4-hour time frame, higher time frame. If you don't pay your rent, your landlord will kick you out faster than the government. That's also true. What's up, Val? I appreciate your honesty about the crypto. Thank you. I appreciate you, like, you know, I'm okay to have these conversations and have open dialogue as long as, like, you know, everyone respects everybody's opinion. Like, if you think that Bitcoin and crypto is the new thing, then run with it. I hope it is for you, right? For me, I'm a trader anyway, so I don't care. But like, I just don't see it. And I just don't see how everyone else thinks that, but maybe I'm wrong. It won't be the first time. Yeah, I don't really like BNB here, to be honest with you. The structure makes it a little bit difficult to trade on the macro scheme of things. What I would do is that for me, I can only speak for myself. If you're not like scalping it, if we take out the low again, which I don't know is going to happen, but if we do take out the low again, then we may have a long. Okay, I would look to long if we take out the low, but the better play, yeah, like this is tough. I'll tell you why. So BNB has all this liquidity that it could easily run for, okay, but then it also has this liquidity which it could easily run for. So I personally would be a fool to make a guess, especially when you're in the dead center of it, right? Like, you know, your low is here, your high is here, you're like almost in the center of it, right? You're in the 40, like you're, whoops, wrong tool. Like if that's your high and that's your low, you're literally like in the middle of it. Like you're in between the 40% and the 60% of the high to the low. So you'd be a fool to assume which way it's going to go right now. You'd have to react. And the thing is that this is a strong supply zone. but we don't have great structure coming into that supply zone, and you have this liquidity below. So what I would do personally, yes, we hit the supply zone. We don't have any structure yet. Here's what I would do. I'm gonna tell you what I would do. If we lose this low, okay, if you lose this low and you do not close below the low, then I would look for a range deviation. I would look to take out the low, flip up, and try to long it. Okay, because you hit the supply zone, you have to take profit on that high, but I would try to long it up to here. Okay, I would try to long it up to 1260 personally to come and sweep that liquidity. And because this supply has now been hit, right, it's been like tapped, which means if you do see a market structure flip like this, then you're seeing signs of this supply failing, which is obviously what you want to be doing if you're longing. Okay, I don't have any other reason to assume that this low is going to hold. So the only way that I would take it is if it doesn't hold, if you SFP the low. Okay, do we have a reason to SFP the low? Well, yeah, we do. We have inducement on these demand zones right here. So I would put an alert on that low. I would look for exactly what you see on your screen. This is not financial advice. Please remember that Gio is an incompetent 5'2 3/4" wannabe singing non-financial advisor. Crypto's a scam. Making money online is impossible. Global warming is real and the earth is flat. Viewer discretion is advised. And of course, all content presented is a complete joke. So what do I know? Don't listen to me. I'm just a kid that's on a treadmill. That's also the most evolved man on earth, by the way, but that's not the point of the disclaimer. So I would look for something like that. And the position would look something like this. And you would de-risk it on that high. So that means you would take profit on that high or go stop loss to break even. Other than that, I would 1,000,000 trillion gazillion % be looking for shorts here, right? I can even extend this a little bit. I'm just going to draw a second box. Anywhere above this line is a swing short. And, you know, depending on what happens with the market, depending on what happens, like, you know how, okay, I don't believe in the 4-year cycle. The 4-year cycle is broken. The cycle is broken ever since Bitcoin took the all-time high pre-halving, right? In my opinion. So for that reason, like, okay, hold on. Let me backtrack. The 4-year cycle, I believe, is broken since Bitcoin took all-time high pre-halving. Okay. Now, if you still believe in the 4-year cycle, which I do not, and I think that this is the last 4-year cycle that there's going to be, but if you still believe in it, then historically speaking, the end of the cycle ends in like now, Q4 of the post-halving year. So this could be a swing short literally to zero. And this is your tap 1. That's your tap 2. This could be your tap 3, right? Why is it allowed to be your tap 3? Because you have an order block up here that we haven't mitigated, and you would be sweeping the extreme premium section. The extreme premium section. Buy side liquidity. So if I pull up my range, okay, that's my range clearly. Okay. And you're in the extreme premium section. You just swept out buy side liquidity. This could be a swing short. Okay. Like, and a swing short to zero. Like, this could be an end of the cycle short. Again, if you believe in the cycles and such. Okay. I will put an alert here for sure. I will take it if I see it. But this also doesn't have to be a model 2 distribution. It could also be a model 1. So you could also be looking for a swing short above the high as well. Right. That's all I have to say about BNB. About Airbnb. That's all I have to say about Airbnb. Okay. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Thank you, Gio, for all my wisdom and honesty. You have to go. See you on the next one. Take care, Joe. Have a good stream whenever you're streaming next, brother. God bless. We'll see you soon. We will see you soon. What time is it? How long we been live for? An hour and 10? Oh, baby. Oh, baby, I love your way every day. Yeah. 1 sec. Hold on, guys. Okay. I just got some news, guys, and I gotta go. So thank you for chilling with me. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Sorry to leave so abruptly, but I just got some news. I gotta go. Take care. One love. Be good. Stay happy. Stay healthy. Stay wealthy. And I'll see you guys soon.
Set my heart on fire.